It was a quiet Thursday morning in Fairview, Ohio. The sky was gray. The wind carried a chill that hinted fall was near. Coffee shops were opening. School buses rolled through sleepy neighborhoods. And across every television screen in the state, a breaking news story stopped people in their tracks. We interrupt your morning programming with an urgent report from Fairview. Local businessman Marcus Ellison has been found dead at the base of Bluff Rock Trail. The 43-year-old husband and father of two was reported missing 3 nights ago. This morning, search crews located his body under suspicious circumstances. His wife, April Ellison, gave this tearful statement just minutes ago. The screen cut to April Ellison. Her face was pale, framed by perfectly brushed blonde hair. She wore a gray hoodie, no makeup, and her hands trembled as she clutched a tissue. A news mic was pushed toward her face. I I just want my husband back, she said, eyes welling with tears. We were happy. He was supposed to come home. This can't be real. Please, whoever did this, please turn yourself in. He didn't deserve this. The clip ended. Detective Nathan Rusk watched it from his office. A seasoned investigator with over 25 years on the force, Rusk had seen enough crying spouses to know when something wasn't right. His phone buzzed. It was Lieutenant Green from the coroner's office. Nate, he said, you're gonna want to see this. It's not just a fall. He was dead before he hit the rocks. Blunt force trauma to the back of the head. Someone struck him. Hard. Rusk leaned back in his chair. So we're looking at murder. Yup. And the wife went on TV crying like she just lost the lottery. Exactly. Rusk rubbed his chin. What else do we know? He was last seen Sunday night. Left the house after dinner. Said he was going for a walk. Never came back. April called the police Monday morning. Said she was worried. Claimed he might have wandered off after drinking too much. She say they argued? Nope. Said everything was fine. Russ stood and grabbed his coat. Call in her phone records. I want GPS, messages, the works. And tell forensics I'll meet them at Bluff Rock Trail in an hour. By sunset, Detective Rusk had what he needed. April's phone had been turned in voluntarily. Too quickly, Rusk thought. She handed it over with red-rimmed eyes and whispered, Find who did this, detective. I need answers. Rusk nodded but said nothing. He already knew she was lying, because inside the phone, buried in the location data, beneath deleted photos and notes, was something chilling. A map. A hand-drawn, labeled digital sketch saved as a photo in her gallery. It was titled, Bluff Rock Plan Backup Route. Detective Nathan Rusk stared at the phone screen, his brow furrowed. The map wasn't just any sketch. It was detailed. Too detailed to be innocent. It showed Bluff Rock Trail, marked with specific turns, labeled rocks, and a hand-drawn X near the cliff's edge. At the bottom corner, in small font, it read, Alternate route if original doesn't work. Rusk sat in his office with the phone in hand, turning it slowly as if another angle would change what he saw. April had handed over this phone without protest, probably thinking the file was gone. But Rusk's tech guy, Darren, recovered it in minutes, along with texts, hundreds of them. April Ellison's last 3 months told a different story than the one she gave the news. Recovered text message, deleted. April to unknown contact. August 14th, 9:37 p.m. He's not going to sign. He keeps putting it off. Same, August 16th, 7:01 p.m. You said it would be easy. Now he wants to take the kids if we split. Same, September 2nd, 11:09 p.m. Bluff Rock. I walked it today. There's a way to make it look like an accident. I'll send a sketch. Russ closed the phone and leaned back in his creaky chair. You really didn't want a divorce, did you, April? He knew Marcus had money, a family construction business, retirement funds, a life insurance policy worth $850,000. If they divorced, April would get some of it. But if he died, especially by accident, she'd get all of it. He pulled up her interview again. The tears, the dramatic pause, the shaking hands. I just want my husband back. He paused the video and zoomed in on her face. No tears fell. That afternoon, Rusk returned to the Ellison house. April greeted him with a soft smile and puffy eyes. She wore a long black dress, and her blonde hair was tucked behind her ears. Detective, she said, did you find anything? I need to ask you a few more questions, Rusk replied. It won't take long. She led him inside. The house was spotless. Too clean for a grieving widow, he thought. They sat in the living room. April, he said, you mentioned Marcus went out Sunday night for a walk. Did he normally hike at night? No, she said, but he'd been restless lately. He said a walk might clear his head. Was he drinking that night? She hesitated. A little. 1 glass of wine. Anyone else over that night? Number just us. Rusk nodded slowly. Did you go with him? No, she said. I was tired. I went to bed early. He watched her closely. Do you know why there's a hand-drawn map of Bluff Rock Trail saved in your phone's deleted files? April froze. What? I said we found a map, with the cliff marked, labeled, dated 2 weeks before your husband died. I don't know what that is. I don't remember making a map. Then why was it titled Backup Route? She stood up. This is insane. Are you accusing me of something? Rusk didn't flinch. I'm saying we found a map in your phone, and texts to a number not in your contact list. Messages discussing your husband, his refusal to sign something, and a plan to make something look like an accident. April's lips parted, but no words came. We're also pulling footage from your front door camera, he added. The one your neighbor said always pointed toward your driveway. If Marcus left Sunday night, we should see it, unless you move the camera. April's face tightened. Do I need a lawyer? She whispered. I think you do, Rusk said. Evidence recovered. Deleted map file titled Bluff Rock Plan, Backup Route. Deleted text exchanges with unidentified contact. Insurance policy naming April as sole beneficiary. No digital trace of Marcus leaving the home Sunday night. Front camera footage erased between 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Subpoena cell tower logs for contact trace. Interview Ellison children, household staff. Secure life insurance documents. Issue warrant for further search of digital devices. Back at the precinct, Rusk stood in front of the case board. He moved April's photo from witness to primary suspect. Looks like your tears weren't the only thing fake, he muttered. Detective Nathan Rusk leaned over his cluttered desk, reviewing the cell tower logs Darren had just dropped off. The phone number April had been texting, the so-called unknown contact, was finally matched to a prepaid burner phone. No name, no registration. But tower pings placed the device within a 2-mile radius of the Ellison home multiple times in the last 3 weeks. Most of those pings occurred late at night. One hit stood out. September 3rd, 10:12 p.m., near Bluff Rock Trail. Same night April sent the text, Bluff Rock. I walked it today. There's a way to make it look like an accident. That wasn't a coincidence. Rusk circled the date and time, then picked up the phone. At the Ellison residence, investigators had returned with a warrant. A second phone was found hidden beneath the mattress in the master bedroom. Locked, no fingerprint ID, no password hint. But Darren would crack it. He always did. In the meantime, Rusk had another lead. Neighbors. He knocked on the door of the Ellisons' next-door neighbor, Mrs. Julia Crane, a retired schoolteacher, who noticed everything. She welcomed him in with hot coffee. I figured you'd come eventually, she said. April's not right. What do you mean? She's a performer. Always smiling too wide. Always dressed like someone's watching. Marcus was quiet, good man, always waved. Did you see or hear anything unusual the night Marcus disappeared? Julia thought for a second. Yes, I saw a man come to the house, Sunday evening, around 9:30, tall, maybe mid-30s. He parked at the end of the street and walked up the side gate. April let him in. I saw her do it from the kitchen window. Had you seen him before? No, but he came back. Last week, in a black hoodie. He parked again near the mailbox, stayed 10 minutes tops. That was enough. Surveillance request, gas station cam, 2 blocks from Bluff Rock Trail. By late afternoon, Rusk had a screenshot from the gas station camera. A tall man, wearing a black hoodie, purchasing 2 bottles of water and a pack of gum. He was caught on camera at 9:48 p.m. Behind him, April's Lexus SUV pulling out of the side lot. Rusk zoomed in on the man's face. Couldn't get a clear ID, but there was a faint tattoo peeking from beneath the man's left sleeve. He printed the stills and pinned them to the caseboard. Back at the station, Darren had broken into the second phone found under April's bed. Inside was a messaging app, Wicker Me, an encrypted platform used for secret chats. Only one thread existed. Wicker chat contact saved as Sparrow. Sparrow, you sure this will work? April, 100%, no cameras. He's out there by 9:15. Just push. Leave the rest. Sparrow, he trusts you? April, still sleeps beside me every night. Sparrow, after this, we're free. I want the beach life you promised. April, soon, baby, just wait. Sparrow, what if someone finds the plan? April, I deleted it. We're clean. Wrong. Secondary phone recovered under suspect's mattress. Chat log with contact Sparrow confirms premeditation. Gas station cam identifies unknown male possibly linked to April. Neighbors confirm man visited property more than once. April lied about being alone night of murder. Rusk sipped his black coffee and stared at the board. We've got motive, method, and now an accomplice. He reached for the phone and dialed the district attorney. It's time, he said. April Ellison is no longer a grieving widow. She's a conspirator to murder. Detective Nathan Rusk stood at the window of the interrogation room, arms folded, watching April Ellison through the untouched, lips pressed tight. The room was cold, yet she showed no signs of discomfort, just like someone used to playing roles. But the act was slipping. With the evidence piling up, the time had come to bring her in for formal questioning. Rusk wanted to be careful. April was clever, manipulative, but she wasn't untouchable anymore. He stepped inside, file in hand. Thanks for coming in again, April, he said, his voice calm but firm. April's eyes flicked to the folder. Am I under arrest? Not yet, Rusk replied, taking a seat. I want to give you a chance to explain some things first. I've already told you everything I know. Well, new things have come up, things that change your story. He opened the file and laid out the map sketch. April's eyes dropped for half a second, just enough. Where did you get this? We recovered it from your phone's deleted files. It's Bluff Rock Trail, the same trail where your husband was found. And this, he flipped another page, is a log of encrypted chats you had with someone you called Sparrow. She blinked hard. I don't know anyone named Sparrow. Rusk leaned forward. This person said they just had to push Marcus, that you'd walk him out to the cliff, that you'd already planned it. You promised them a beach life, a new beginning. April crossed her arms, anger rising. This is ridiculous. None of that proves anything. Rusk kept going. We also have gas station footage. You and a man with a black hoodie. Same night your husband died. Same tattoo we saw in your photos from last summer. Remember Cabo? That tattoo belongs to a man named Brandon Lake, an ex-model. Your old fling. April looked away. Brandon's phone was traced to your house multiple times before Marcus's death. He's been gone since last week. No one's seen him. Silence. You didn't do this alone, April, but I know you led the dance. All the signs are there. You lured Marcus to the cliff. Brandon gave the final push, but you orchestrated it. Finally, April leaned forward, eyes wide, voice low. I want a lawyer. Rusk didn't move. Fine, you're entitled, but you're not walking out of here. Back at the station, Rusk reviewed April's financial records. A transfer of $45,000 had been made from Marcus's joint account to a private account in April's name just 3 days after his death. Another payment, $10,000, had gone to an unknown recipient marked as B. Lake. Brandon had been paid to help murder Marcus. Later that night, Rusk walked to his car, the autumn air crisp around him. As he started the engine, his phone buzzed. Text from Darren. Pinged Brandon's burner, last location Palm Coast, Florida. Hotel check-in under fake name, J. Sand. I'll send the address. Rusk smirked. Beach life, huh? He turned the ignition. Let's go fishing. Detective Nathan Rusk stepped out of his rental car onto the sandy parking lot of the Seabreeze Inn in Palm Coast, Florida. The ocean breeze rolled in as the waves, orange, the sun just beginning to dip. Tourists wandered by in swimsuits and sandals, but Rusk wasn't there for vacation. Room 214, registered to a Jason Sand. According to the tip from Darren, Brandon Lake, April Ellison's secret lover and alleged accomplice, had checked in under that alias 5 days ago, paid in cash, no luggage, just a duffel bag and a burner phone. The receptionist said he barely left the room except to walk the beach after dark. Rusk climbed the stairs, hand resting near his holstered badge. His backup, Officer Karen Lloyd from the local PD, stayed just behind. He knocked twice. No answer. Then again, firmer. Palm Coast Police opened the door. Still nothing. Rusk signaled Lloyd, who stepped aside and readied her stun baton. With one swift kick, Rusk broke the door open. The room was dim, curtains drawn, smelled like sweat and cheap air freshener. And there he was, Brandon Lake, sitting on the edge of the bed, shirtless, holding a beer in one hand, stunned. "You found me," Brandon muttered, raising the bottle in a mock toast. "You're under arrest for the murder of Marcus Ellison," Rusk said flatly, "hands where I can see them." Brandon didn't fight. He stood slowly and allowed them to cuff him. Brandon sat across from Rusk, now dressed in an orange jumpsuit, wrists chained to the table. He looked older than his Instagram photos. Tired, sunken eyes, the charm stripped away. "You know why you're here," Rusk said. Brandon sighed. "She said he was abusive, controlling, said she tried to leave before. I didn't want to kill him, I just wanted us to run away." "But you did kill him." Brandon shook his head slowly. "She led him out to the edge, told me just to scare him, make him trip. Said the rocks were loose anyway. I didn't mean to push him that hard." Rusk raised a photo, April's chat messages. "She planned everything. You knew it was murder." Brandon's hands trembled. "She promised we'd disappear together, said we'd live on the beach, no more hiding. But after it happened, she just went cold. Told me to lay low, wait for her to send the rest of the money. I haven't heard from her in weeks." "So she used you?" Brandon nodded slowly. "Yeah, guess I was the fool." Wife's lover found hiding in Florida, murder plot unraveling. Instagram model turned killer? Police say it was all about greed and control. April's courtroom appearance was set for the following week. Rusk knew the case wasn't just about a single murder. It was about betrayal, about the twisted ways love could be turned into a weapon. As he updated the evidence board, Rusk finally pinned a photo of Brandon beside April. Two lovers, one plan, but the truth was bigger than that. And Rusk knew there was still more to dig up, especially about April's past. Because Marcus wasn't her first husband, and someone else had vanished 10 years ago. Detective Nathan Rusk stared at the manila folder in his hand, his mind racing. April Ellison had spun a dark web, and the deeper he looked, the more tangled it became. Her fingerprints weren't just on Marcus's death. There was something far older hiding in plain sight. Back at his desk, Rusk opened the file again. April had been married before, 6 times to be exact. Most ended in divorce, but one name stood out. Thomas Kincaid, husband number 3, dated back to 2014 in Kansas City. On record, he died in a car accident. Case closed, or so it seemed. Rusk picked up the phone. "Get me Kansas City PD archives. I need everything you've got on a Thomas Kincaid, died July 2015. While waiting, he pulled April's financials again. The same pattern repeated. Each marriage followed by a life insurance payout, each payout followed by a quiet new home, often in another state, and a new name. April Kincaid, April Vargas, April Lutz. Her game had been long. The call came through. An older officer, retired now but still helping out, answered. "Thomas Kincaid, yeah, that was a weird case. Car flipped off a rural road late at night. April was with him, said he swerved to miss a deer. No alcohol, no skid marks, and she walked away with barely a scratch." Rusk frowned. "Was there an autopsy?" "Sure was. Blunt force trauma to the head, front passenger seat. But the coroner noted that it didn't match the dashboard impact. Looked like it came from something harder, metallic. But there was no investigation. She declined an autopsy review. Had the cremation done fast, no family pushed back. Rusk felt a chill creep up his spine. Was there life insurance? Big one. $500,000. Collected it within a month. Moved to California not long after. Back at HQ, Rusk added Thomas's photo to the board. 2 deaths, 2 suspicious stories, one common thread. April. Meanwhile, at the jail. April Ellison sat in her cell, eyes closed, trying to center herself. She was unraveling. Her lawyer said Brandon was talking, said the Florida arrest would make conviction almost certain. But it wasn't Brandon she feared, it was Nathan Rusk. Additional findings. Prior husband Thomas Kincaid's death ruled accidental in 2015. Autopsy inconsistencies noted in archive coroner's report. April Kincaid, now Ellison, collected $500K insurance. Circumstances suggest staged accident. Pattern of behavior: multiple husbands, repeated financial benefit, high-risk deaths. Kansas City PD reopens Kincaid case. April Ellison now under investigation for suspected past homicide. Later that evening, Rusk met with the assistant district attorney. "This is bigger than a single murder," he said. "We're looking at a potential serial black widow. Same playbook, different victims. She's been doing this for a decade. Marcus was just the latest." The ADA leaned back. "Let's hit her with both. Present the Kincaid evidence alongside the Ellison case. Make sure the jury sees the pattern." Rusk nodded. "Let's bring her whole house of lies crashing down." The courtroom was packed. Journalists lined the benches, their notebooks and phones ready. Locals whispered behind hands. The case had gripped the nation, the crying widow with a phone full of secrets. Some believed she was innocent. Others called her a master manipulator. But one thing was certain today: everything would be exposed. April Ellison sat still, perfectly composed in her navy blue suit. Her hair was neat, her makeup subtle. She looked like a grieving widow, not a woman on trial for murder. But the calm in her eyes was rehearsed. Detective Nathan Rusk took the stand. He explained how Marcus Ellison's phone had led them to a place off the main road, a hiking trail near Miller's Creek. He explained how April had lied about the night of the disappearance and how Brandon Lake had confessed under pressure. Then he pulled out the final piece: April's phone records. In the days before Marcus's death, Rusk told the court, Mrs. Ellison searched online for how to fake a hiking accident, fastest acting poisons, and insurance payout after accidental death. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. He continued. A tracking app synced between Marcus's smartwatch and April's phone recorded his exact GPS route the day he vanished. The phone pinged near Miller's Creek 15 minutes after she said she had already returned home. That was the missing gap. The prosecutor played the recovered voice message April had sent to Brandon. "Make sure he gets too close to the edge. I'll say he wanted a selfie and fell. We get through this, and we're free." The room fell silent. April's attorney sat frozen. Then came the Kansas City evidence: the death of Thomas Kincaid, the suspicious injuries, the $500,000 payout. "The same woman, the same pattern, just a different name," Rusk said. April shifted in her seat for the first time. Her lawyer whispered, "We need a plea deal." But it was too late. 3 weeks later, verdict day. The jury returned after only 4 hours of deliberation. Guilty. First-degree murder in the death of Marcus Ellison. Additional investigation pending in the suspicious death of Thomas Kincaid. Sentencing scheduled for the following month. Haydon Daybury well from Brendan Verliers. As the bailiff led April out in handcuffs, she turned and stared at Detective Rusk. Her eyes cold now. The mask had fully cracked. "You think you're smart," she whispered. Rusk didn't respond. He didn't need to. The facts had already spoken for him.